Good morning, Facebook family. I am shooting a quick video with my thought of the day. My thought of the day is be proactive and not reactive. Yesterday, I was with my wonderful in-laws, and we were celebrating my little sister-in-law's her White Coat ceremony at Tuskegee University. As we were pulling up to Olive Garden to celebrate at dinner, my husband decides that he's going to run across the street really quickly to holler at a friend of his who worked across the street. And while he was, ran out real quick, we were trying to get everybody in, get the kids situated, who's sitting where, all this, blah, blah, blah. In the midst of all of that, I see my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and the women just run out of where we're sitting. And I'm like, what's going on? They said there's an emergency. So, okay. So I just started running down thinking my brother-in-law had surgery a couple months ago. Maybe something happened. I don't know. And literally, I run out of the Olive Garden at Tiger Town. Everybody who lives locally knows. Run out of the Olive Garden at Tiger Town. I run down towards the street, and my niece turns around and she said, it's Uncle Steven. What you mean it's Uncle Steven? And my husband is laying down in the street, surrounded by people. I just hear screaming. My sisters, they're screaming. I just come around and I'm running around and just stand over him, looking down at him like, what's going on? What happened? And they tell me that my husband was hit by a car. Okay. Somebody's holding his head, and he looks up at me and he says, I'm okay. He said, baby, I'm all right. I'm okay. Calm down. I'm okay. I'm all right. He's talking to me. He's coherent. He is, awake and alive. He's alive. And I'm just standing there just in disbelief, complete disbelief. As, more people are gathering around this young girl. The girl has a big, huge crack in her windshield. She'll need that replaced. But my husband is in the house right now. He's sitting down. He's swollen. His whole left side is rocking him right now. That's where he was hit. But he's alive to tell the tale. The thought of the day is this: be proactive and not reactive. As I stood out there, I realized that that morning I had prayed for my husband's safety. And I just got to phone one of my church sisters, so that's why this is so interesting. I too struggle with spending time with God. I too struggle with putting everybody else out, closing the door. I have 4 children. They're with me all the time. So I struggle with that too. But I know for a fact that I prayed for my husband's safety yesterday morning. I know I did. I know people are crying. People are freaking out. The EMTs are showing up and, the ambulance and people. I said, I know I prayed for him to be safe today. I know I did. So I was proactive by the grace of God, by the urging of the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit must say, girl, go get in your war room and pray. Okay? I'm saying all that to say this. Where does it happen that on any given Friday night, every single innocent bystander just happens to be a certified medical professional? Firemen, EMTs, nurses, CNA, if that's a thing, but nurses, just people coming out of everywhere. Every single person that was innocently standing by was a medical professional. That's prayer. I'm going to post a picture later of the girl's cracked up windshield where my husband's body was hit by the car, rolls up onto the hood, cracks her windshield, he rolls back down on the ground, and he's just swollen. He doesn't have any internal bleeding. He doesn't have any broken bones. He doesn't have a cast on. He's talking. He's coherent. Power of prayer. When the EMTs tell you that multiple other people were hit, pedestrians were hit this week, and they all died. Power of prayer. When the kind people, when you were going in to eat and sit down, and the people from Olive Garden, y'all, that meant so much to me. The people from Olive Garden sent, call you back. People from Olive Garden sent food over, catering plates and plates of food and salad, everything that we need to feed our party of 15 while we sat in the emergency room. They sent roses. They sent a card. That's the power of prayer. When by the power of the Holy Spirit, the little girl, she was probably about 18 in her little car, probably went to Auburn, bless her little heart. By the power of prayer, I could walk up to her as they were loading my husband into the ambulance to take him to East Alabama. And I could say, "Come, who was driving?" And I walked over to the group of people. I think it was just her in the car, but there were other people around. And she was white, not that that makes a difference. But I walked over to her, and she probably saw this black woman coming towards her, and you just hit my husband with your car, But I said, "Come here." And by the power of the Holy Spirit, I could put my arms around her. I hugged her and I said, "It's going to be okay." And I told her and the other people that were standing out there, I said, "Listen, I prayed for my husband's safety this morning. He's going to be all right. He's coherent. He's talking. I don't know what his internal state is right now, but he's going to make it. So because of that, everything's going to be fine." And I could hug her. And then the people that were around, at the time, one lady was just looking at me. She had tears in her eyes as I shared with her the power of prayer and how I know that I prayed that morning. And I know that I did what I was supposed to do that morning as a wife. I guarded my husband that morning as a wife. So I know that he's going to be like, stuff happens. You can't keep things from happening. But the power of prayer will cover your family. I just talked to one of my church sisters and I said, it's literally like sending your husband out, sending your children out into the war zone, and you don't give them any kind of protection. You don't give them a shield. You don't give them a sword. You don't give them anything. You just send them out there helpless. That's what we do when we don't pray. So I know that yesterday I prayed for his protection. I prayed for a whole lot of other things, but I know for sure that I prayed for him to be safe. So sometimes God answers our prayer by things not happening. Sometimes he lets things happen and we get to see his glory and his amazing power, his keeping power. Where does it happen that everybody that tends to your significant other is medical certified out of the blue? They just all start appearing. Where does it happen where you see the damage and your loved one is fine? Where does it happen that that they say multiple other people passed away, but your husband is all right, and you know that you prayed that morning? Like, God's sovereign hand, sometimes God does take people from this earth. Sometimes he does let things happen. But at least at this particular day, I can say, I know I did what I was supposed to. I know I listened to the Holy Spirit, and I went and I did what I was supposed to do. So wives, it's your job. You supposed to give the man food, sex, and sleep. Okay? I mean, feed him, have sex with him, okay? And then give him some peace in his home. But your number one job is to pray and ask the Lord to keep them. My prayer is always, Lord, surround them by your angels and cover them by your blood. And that's all I got. I can't go with him everywhere and follow him all over the place when he has to do things. But I can send the Holy Spirit with him and the angels of the Lord with him to protect and provide for my family. So that's just my word of the day, word of the moment. Cover your family with prayer. Don't be reactive. The first time I talked to Jesus yesterday was not standing in the street after my husband got hit. It was that morning. So I know that, and even if it's just God teaching me a lesson about the importance of prayer, because I do struggle in that area and I do struggle with consistency, maybe God is just trying to teach me that that's what I'm supposed to do, and share that. But it got to be a blessing, because the more people that we talk to, the more people. I told everybody, I prayed for him this morning. Like I said, we're Christians. We believe that Jesus answers prayer. Every person I saw, I told them Jesus answers prayer. So please, if you're just getting on, make sure that you rewind back to hear the full story and the full testimony. But I know for a fact that God was listening to me yesterday. He's teaching me a lesson about the importance of covering my family in prayer. Yesterday, I was at the hospital with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. I said, I know that my mom says there's an 8:28 in there somewhere. Romans 8:28 says that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I know that we got good seed in the ground. I know that we have tried to honor God in our marriage, in our raising of our children, in our finances, in our business dealings, in our ministry life. So because of that, I know we got good seed in the ground. Everything's going to work out for the good. I said, let me check. Matter of fact, let me check the time. And at the exact time, it was 8:28 p.m. So I know for a fact the good is coming out of this. Wives, pray for your husband, pray for your children, cover them with prayer, and don't wait until after catastrophe happens, until after the unthinkable happens to cover them. You all be blessed.